Yo guys, what's up? Starting August 1943, after Bulgaria had officially surrendered to the Soviets, the Red Army began to take back Stalin's lost property. After Kharkov was liberated on August 23rd, the legendary city of Smolensk was captured by September 25th. Another month later, the Dnieper River was back in Soviet hands, with the two vital cities Kiev and Dnipropetrovsk. After Ukraine, the Red Army moved north to Kalinin and managed to secure their final target by mid-December 1943, before reaching the Baltic blockade. The Axis blockade in Leningrad, near Finland, had held up for years, and the same thing was bound to happen in Estonia, because the Finns and Estonian citizens were fighting for their precious independence. Hitler still had a tight grip on Poland and the Baltic Sea, meaning that he could even send extra combatants from Denmark and Belgium into the North Front. The Red Army was able to establish a bridgehead at Lake Peipus, but the Baltic defenses were impenetrable via the sea. So, alongside a naval operation that failed, also the Peipus bridgehead was demolished. Finally, the Soviets proposed an armistice, but Estonia rejected immediately. On March 6, 1944, bombardments were carried out over the Narva front, but accidentally hit Tallinn as well 1 month later. 800 Finnish civilians lost their lives for this Soviet mistake, so by April 1944, an armistice between Finland and Stalin was not longer possible, and the Narva front would remain. Stalin had no desire to liberate the giant country of Poland, but saw an opportunity to breach South Europe via Romania. After heavy bombings over Hungary, Romania and the Crimea, the start of May 1944 delivered a Nazi-free Crimea, since the remaining troops had been cleared out of Odessa and Sevastopol. A Soviet passage via Romania, the country of dictator Ion Antonescu, would be achieved, knocking Romania out of the Axis, and initially also Hungary was quick to sign an armistice. However, the son of Hungarian leader Miklos Horthy was kidnapped by German commandos, forcing former Axis member Horthy to be replaced, backed with a German puppet government. Hungary would stay in the Axis until 1945, throughout all the battles with the Soviets. In neighboring country Yugoslavia, the Serbian Chetniks were forced to join the Axis alongside Germany and Croatia, while the Yugoslav partisans began the battle for Trieste in the west. Hitler had seen all of his new Lebensraum disappear and was desperate to hold on to his old territory, Poland, Czechoslovakia, Austria and Western Europe. Meanwhile, in the Pacific War, USA had been stacking up the wins from June 1943 until June 1944. Operation Cartwheel lasted from June 43 until August and resulted in free parts of the Solomon Islands. The battles of Kula Gulf and Vela Gulf were decided in July, and Stage 2 began in October. Vela La Vela was another US victory on October 6, but 1 day later, 98 US POWs were executed on Wake Island. Operation Good Time kicked off in November, with shore gunners defeating Uncle Sam on November 20th during the Battle of Tarawa. China got a new leader called Chiang Kai-shek, who was present at the Cairo conference, and agreed to more Allied bombings over key cities Rangoon and Rabaul. A few days later, the Tehran conference was held with Joseph Stalin, and over here Britain was put in the background, with Stalin and Roosevelt portrayed as the big dogs. The Brits managed to capture Burma at the start of 1944, and USA began the Battle of the Admiralty Islands, keeping them busy until May. Japanese troops fleeing Burma were stuck for 3 months in India since March, in the city of Imphal, and a major Japanese operation in China with codename Ichi-Go began to attack all bases where US bombers were stationed. A total of 600,000 Japanese soldiers were a part of Operation Ichi-Go. The Imphal resistance was broken down by the Brits by early May, and USA had gone into Operation Hurricane for New Guinea, another fight until August. With India and several small islands liberated, the struggle for Japan came in sight, but from June 1944 until mid-August 1945, the sleeping dragon USA would be raising hell on the determined master of the Orient. Hideki Tojo resigned as prime minister due to failed leadership and deep shame over the run of defeats for the Japanese Imperial Army. See you on the next one, guys. Peace.